Even with the Sword of a Thousand Truths equipped, it's not enough. Unless I counted wrong, but there we go. 12 wins with... This list is real, I guess. I didn't even need Nathria in that one. Welcome back to Bottom Deck Achievements, a Hearthstone achievement hunting series. Folks, tonight we are going to be looking at some duels lists. I haven't done this in a set or two, but I used to love making these where I would pull together a bunch of duels lists that I've been using for both climbing in MMR and getting some achievements done. So I haven't done it in a minute, but I'm excited to get back to it. This little series within a series, so to speak. I should come up with some kind of snappy acronym for it. Let's see. Duels decks I love for hunting achievements, or if we put that into an acronym, it's DILF. Huh. Well, anyway, I've got 4 lists that I want to talk about tonight, but first of all, I have a bunch of achievements that I've done, so let's claim those and talk about those real quick. I think I had 7 last time too, so 7 seems to be the lucky number here, but moving on from what I talked about last week with the Demon Hunter relics, I've done at least the first 2 steps of these. Wow, I am close to the 3rd step here. Nice. That'll be some nice chunk of experience when I finish that. I am looking forward to not playing this deck anymore because I am not winning very much with it. I'll take a little break from Demon Hunter here, and you'll see why I'm taking a little bit more of a break than usual when we get to that duels list. But moving on, I've still been playing some Malygos Druid. It's got like 3 win conditions in it in Wild. And Topior is pretty good in that deck, especially, man, Floop's Glorious Goop, Floop's Glorious Goop, or Gloop, one of the two, man, that's a card that's gotten a glow up recently, huh? With all the rushy tokeny stuff going on in Druid, you can have some insane turns with that card. I actually opened a gold one during Boomsday and just never had a chance to use it. It was just never a good card, but now it's finding a home in Wild in this deck that I've been enjoying. And, well, it's always nice when you can climb in Wild while getting some achievements done. So Topior, it'll take a while to get that one done, but I'm confident. It looks like we got the rest are neutrals. I'm going to talk about Denathrius last, but looks like we have step 2 of the Infused achievement and step 2 of the locations as well. Hey, both are see and play, same as I said last time. I think I had both step 1s done of these, so no need to repeat myself, I guess. But I believe I'm finished completely with Sire Denathrius. Boy, what a card. I know there's a lot of talk these days about people wanting him nerfed in some way, nerfing cards around him, but man, I've been playing a lot of him these last couple weeks, and I think this is my first 3-step achievement that I've completed too. So this is my first little chunk of 500 that I'm getting. Feels pretty good. I guess I'll have maybe these done. Probably definitely the location one done, but hopefully also this Demon Hunter one too. So yeah, we're progressing pretty nicely. I don't think this set's been out for a month yet at this point, but at least this percentage-wise, we're over a 1/4 of the way there, which is pretty good, and a lot of the grinds have a little bit going on for them. So overall, I feel like I'm making pretty good progress, and I don't really see anything that should be in my way from getting them all done. So yay, go me. All right, gonna hop right in there and get right onto the first list. But unfortunately, it's the one I want to talk about the least. I made a couple of these lists up before the most recent balance patch, when Rogue was struggling pretty bad in constructed modes. So I figured if these aren't working in standard or in Wild, really, I'm going to summon some ghosts and make some big knives here in Duels. So I built sort of this Miracle Reno list because in addition to all the cheap rogue stuff, there's a lot of cheap mana cheaty kind of stuff going on in Mage as well. So I figured Reno would be perfect for that. So I threw in Necrolord Draka and their location to do those 2 achievements from Nathria. And then they went ahead and buffed Edwin, and what else did they buff? They buffed like 1 or 2 other things for Rogue as well. But the Edwin buff made that list start popping off pretty big, and now everyone's complaining that Rogue is too good. So you can get these done in duels, but you might want to stay away from it. But either way, I got up to 8 wins with a list, not this exact list, but a really similar list as well. I just rolled over my opponents with these stealthy ghosts and big knives. And I did get the Necrolord Draka achievement done and started working on the location one. I think you have to summon like 150 ghosts or something like that. So it'll take some time to get it done, but at the same time, might not want to do this one in duels, but I've had some success at least, so here's this if you want to do some mage stuff as well with it. Next up, I'm going to focus on something that isn't working in Standard and hasn't been buffed or anything, and that's the Druid Deathrattle stuff. Their location Hedge Maze is not really doing any work in Standard. I have HS Replay stats pulled up here, and it looks like the average deck win rate for Hedge Maze is 45%, which is not where you want to be, especially given that they gave Druid a bunch of Deathrattle stuff that is really big and expensive and just isn't working out. So how do we fix this? Well, why not pair Druid with a class that does do Deathrattle stuff pretty successfully in Priest with Elise in duels. So that's what I did. I built a bit of a Deathrattle Elise list, and I've had some fun with it. My best number of runs with this is 6, and unfortunately it's not doing too much work on other achievements. Granted, I did put in the Light It Burns just for a little bit of that, but what it lacks in achievement grindiness, you make up for in just like game grindiness, because if you are the kind of person that loves to just slow games down to a crawl and just like eke out value over your opponent, this is the list for you, because if you can just get down a single Greybough and get that going, you can build these unsurmountable board states of just Greyboughs and Mitas, and just like it's obscene. I'm probably putting some gameplay here that I recorded. No gameplay for the Reno stuff because hey, you can do that in Constructed, but just look at some of this stuff I'm getting away with here. Fun fact, I actually ran into somebody while recording stuff for this who was on my friends list, so I messaged them in the middle just to say I'm so sorry for this. And they said I did something similar last week, so no worries, man. But yeah, I've had fun playing this thing. Hedge Maze with Greybough is disgusting. Even if Greybough is the only minion on the battlefield, proccing a Hedge Maze, proccing its own Deathrattle will give itself the Deathrattle, summon another Greybough. And of course, this being duels, if you're running any kind of Deathrattle stuff, the game just loves to throw the passive Mummy Magic at you, which gives any Deathrattle minion you play Reborn, meaning your stuff's going to be really annoying. So yeah, so try out this sample list. Like I said, you're only really grinding for 2 achievements here, the Druid location one and the Light It Burns, incidentally, I guess. It's just a really fun list if you love slow, grindy control stuff. It felt really dirty when it popped off. Obviously, you can be rushed down by like hyper aggression and stuff like that, and any like Wand of Disintegration or Mass Silence effects will completely ruin you. But that's the chance I'm willing to take, and I never ran into any of that, so I'm happy. I had fun. Give it a try. Next up, you'll notice the theme continues with another archetype that is not working in Constructed in Rage Warrior. They gave Warrior so many cards that play with self-damaging or being damaged or any kind of stuff like that, and it's not panning out. They even buffed some of these cards as well, and I'm still not seeing it on ladder at all, really. But there's a lot of that you can do in duels as well, and I've had a lot of fun with this list. This might be my most inconsistent of the lists that I've run today, because I've had runs that went to 5-6 wins. I've also had ones that went to like 1 or 2 wins as well. Honestly, I think with this list here that's up on the screen, it needs, I don't know, it needs one less spell that deals with damaging your own stuff, and it just needs at least one more minion, I think. But it's a decent little core, and it's really fun. It feels incredibly powerful when it pops off. The achievements that you're chasing here, once again, not too many. It's just more so of the playing fun, cool new stuff. But the Anima Extractor achievement for, I think, proccing 7 buffs off of a single Anima Extractor, as well as I threw in Conqueror's Banner, which you're running some expensive stuff in Ulgra, the starting treasure for Drekthar, Grom Hellscream, and Trench Stalker, which are all fairly expensive cards. And hey, you can even run like into like Acolyte of Pain into like a cheap spell or something like that. It happens. Conqueror's Banner also looks to be a card that its average deck win rate is right around the 45% area. So you're not seeing this. It's not doing too well in Standard, so why not give it a shot in Duels? I don't know how many cards exactly you need to draw with it, but it's been pretty good for me. I feel like I've never completely whiffed with Conqueror's Banner. I've always gotten at least 1, 2. I don't know if I've ever gotten 3, but I probably have at some point. But yeah, it's fun. If you have Remornia, that would fit in here as well, with the buffs and the self-damage stuff. It does have Rush. I think whatever you add to this deck needs Rush as well, because I find when I'm losing to bigger threats that I can't quite deal with all my like whirlwindy board damage stuff that I have going on. And that's why I picked Drekthar, because his hero power of dealing 1 damage to the whole board that you can just do every turn really helps out for some of the stuff here in this list. If you ever get offered the passive treasure, The Floor is Lava, take it immediately. It synergizes super well with like everything that you put in your deck. It's obscene. My best run, I had it, and I've found myself struggling a little bit when I didn't have it. So obviously something to look for, something to keep in mind, but hey, this is one of those ones that, like I said, when it pops off, when it does what it needs to do, it feels really good. Finally, this is, I think, the most consistent list of the ones I'm talking about today. I probably included the clip of me getting 12 wins at the beginning of this video, but with a couple things blurred out to keep the suspense up of what list got me to 12 wins. It was this one, this Infused Stelina list. This feels pretty consistent. Of the runs that I did in prep for this, I think the lowest amount of wins I got was maybe 5 or 6. I got 7 a couple times, and my 12 wins as well, which was really awesome. I'd never gotten 12 wins with Stelina before, so super excited to get that achievement knocked out of the way. But yeah, this list feels pretty real. It's not doing any of the Demon Hunter achievement stuff. It's all neutral stuff. You're mostly focusing on infused stuff here in the neutral set with Sire Denathrius, if you haven't got that achievement yet, Famished Fool, which is, you know, doing okay, popping up here and there, Insatiable Devourer, which feels very good when it pops off, as well as just playing Maze Guide just for more bodies to fuel the rest of your stuff. With I think the only other infused card I put in here was Murlocula, which is another really cool card, but what really makes this deck go is Stelina's Illidari hero power, where you summon 2 1/1s that attack a target. You can get some huge infuses going off. In fact, if you have Sire Denathrius in your starting hand or draw him early enough, you can easily get him to at least 30 damage on his battle cry by turn 10. It's pretty obscene. Which is another reason why I throw in the kind of OTK kind of thing as a backup plan with the Kurtrus Hero card, Expendable Performers, and Fellfire Deadeye. But most of the time, one of the issues with that combo is that, like, if you ever had to play an Expendable Performers without the rest of the OTK setup, it felt really bad. But here, as you're fueling stuff that's in your hand, it honestly feels okay to play Expendable Performers to full clear a board and just fuel that Denathrius just to have a huge turn 10. This list feels really real. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, I think the most consistent of the lists that I've built. I don't know how close this is to any meta Stelina stuff. Everyone could know about this, but, you know, I haven't run into it, really. Obviously, you're in danger of getting your Denathrius, like, Theotard away or eaten by Mutinous, but at the same time, the risk is so low of that happening that it's not worth not playing this deck. If you're looking for a good list for Stelina, I would highly recommend giving this one a go. I think this list exactly that's on the screen is the exact list I got 12 wins with. And honestly, looking at it, you can pull Illidari Studies. It wasn't really doing too much for me. Put in almost anything else you would want. Hey, it's good. Field of Strife is really good for your turns where you're summoning a lot of rushy 1/1s and stuff. They're now 2/1s. It makes your hero power that much better. I don't know, it just feels really good. And another thing about it is that it really doesn't matter what starting treasure you take. None of them are super, super great, but Gift of the Legion works with having a bunch of stuff die. It never really did too much for me because, you know, a cost of 3 is kind of awkward in the mid game and it needing to be in the outcast position. You don't really want to play it when it's not. It's a little awkward and it didn't really do too much, but I think it's the best choice he got of her starting stuff. But yeah, definitely give this one a go. Like I said, I'm proud of this one. I'm super, super happy with how this one turned out. And yeah, all the infused cards that we're targeting here do seem to be doing pretty well when I look at the stats on HS Replay. All of the, obviously Sire Denathrius is one of the best cards in this set, but the Insatiable Devourer, Famished Fool, as well as even Maze Guide, all have an average deck win rate of just north of 50%. So these cards are doing well when they're played in Constructed, but man, it's just super powerful here in Duels. Well, that is really all I want to talk about today. Duels is a lot of fun. I think it's low-key maybe my favorite game mode. It's so much fun. It's so good for achievement hunting as well. These cards that don't really find a home in Constructed can honestly kind of thrive in Duels, and I think that's awesome. So if you don't hop into the mode that often, give it a try with one of these deck lists I provided, and who knows, maybe you'll find some success too. And hey, if you yourself are chasing achievements in Duels that with a list or an archetype that I didn't talk about today, post those in the comments below. I'd love to see what you're playing. But yeah, so that's about it for me. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Both of those things would help me out a ton. And hey, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. I'm at HeyTallman at both places. Should be starting up Hollow Knight here within the next couple weeks on Twitch, as well as I've been diving a little bit more into retro achievement stuff. So if you want to see me chase achievements for like Game Boy games and Super Nintendo stuff, hop by the Twitch. I'll probably be playing some random stuff. They just added, I had cleared all the achievements for WarioWare on the Game Boy Advance, and they went ahead and added more. So I gotta hop back into there and play some micro games there. Should be fun stuff, so give me a follow on both of those places. But other than that, in addition to the what are you playing in Duels, if you have any achievements you'd like to see covered in a future video that I haven't talked about already, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. With all that being said, as always, thank you for watching, have a great day, and may the card you need the most never be at the bottom of your deck.